All right, folks, welcome to our Wednesday night broadcast of the IWM Cup Series. We are at Sonoma in wine country in California for today's running of the Toyota Save Mart 175 here in the IWM broadcast and of the IWM Cup Series. So we thank you for tuning in tonight. Right now, I'm Rick Souza here in the booth. I'll be joined at some point by one of my co-broadcasters, but you've got my voice at least for the next hour or so as we get this race underway. So let's cover right now. Qualifying is underway. All right, right now on track, you've got, this is Zach Lindgren in the 85, right now at Sonoma, trying to get qualified for tonight's event. We've got 29 or 27 or so entries in today's event. We'll see how that goes. Well, let's talk about just what today is and what we've got for you tonight. So what we do know is we're here at Sonoma. We'll talk a little bit about the track itself. Just about 2 miles in length with varying degrees of elevation. We'll go through that. Overall, it's clear conditions. Air temp is 80. Track temp is 120. That is smoking hot here in the hills of California. It is going to be very sticky and, well, very difficult to hold your line on this track. It's going to be very slippery, but that should help these drivers kind of keep it together. Now, that being said, it's a fixed setup. They've got 3 sets of tires. We do have a stage break at lap 17. We'll see how that plays out, but should go through pretty quickly. Keys to tonight's race. I can't emphasize it enough. Qualifying well is important. It is super fast and super difficult to pass at this track. So qualifying well is going to be critical. Also here, the braking zones. This track is unique in the fact that you have got 2 major points. Turn 2, which is the hairpin at the bottom of the hill, and turn 7, which is the top hairpin, that require really deep lake braking, and you've got to be on that. The fact that there are so many elevation changes here, that affects both the braking points and the cornering speeds, so the drivers really have to pay attention. The other key here is tire management. This track is significant in tire wear, so rear tires, especially on these cars, are going to be something the drivers have to keep an eye on due to the all of the right-hand cornering on this track. And of course, fuel strategy is going to matter. They're going to have to figure this out. Right now, we're thinking that window is 27 to 30 laps. That could change once we get deeper into this and just see how their revs are going. We'll see how that all plays out. Now, I talked briefly about the track itself. Let's kind of cover just what we're looking at here. So, first of all, you've got turn 2. We just talked about that hairpin there. That's going to be huge as they drive down that hill. They go into that hairpin. And then again at 7, that's another hairpin turn at the top of the chute there between 7 and 7A that they've got to accommodate here. Obviously, also they can pick up a lot of speed coming through 10 as they head down into 11, then back to 12 where the start-finish line is. So a lot of things for the drivers to consider here, and we'll probably bring this map back up a couple times during the race itself. Number of drivers are on track qualifying. As you're not new to this, but if you are new, let me just tell you that everybody qualifies virtually at the same time. So at any given time, you've got multiple cars on track qualifying. Right now, we've got Matthew David Wood. He is on track now, getting in. Let's bring up some current best times that we've got right now, currently populating. So right now, Matthew David Wood, this guy's graphic is a little jacked there. on top there. Let's try to see if we can refresh that. It will help itself. Yeah, that's a little better. So right now you got Matthew David Wood on top with the best time so far. You've got Aiden Kirker right there, and Keaton Tripp and Andrew Pleshy right now they're on the top of the leaderboard. Number of drivers have not qualified as of yet. This is Max Caldwell. Max Caldwell is currently getting his qualifying lap in. Also, Roberto Ramirez is on track, as well as Kyle Smalley. Kyle Smalley was actually super fast during practice. Let's go on board with Kyle and watch him as he takes us around this track. So that's deep braking into 11 there as he gets down to first gear. We'll see some drivers down into second gear. Some drivers will drop into first as he heads back towards the start-finish line here. And now we'll see as he heads up around the bend as he begins that climb up. And then here is that turn 2 we talked about. Super tight hairpin. See climbing through the hills here. Track's relatively narrow with these sweeping blind corners. The driver's going to have to really memorize what's happening now. Here he comes into 7. Hard on the brakes here. You got to gently get it around. You got that runoff, but you don't want to go too far off into that and open up an opportunity for someone to come back and take advantage of that. Now this is headed back towards the home stretch as he works through these sweeping curves and turns as he gets around towards turns 10 and 11. And then back where we started after this long one. He'll definitely pick up some speed here. But again, hard back on the brakes getting into this corner as he sweeps around here back up to the start-finish line. We'll see where he crosses. This is Kyle Smalley. And boom, that puts him in the second position. Super fast qualifying effort there from Kyle. All right, we'll let Kyle finish out his qualifying efforts. There's a little bit better tower. Let's talk a little bit about where we are in the standings, because right now Kyle Smalley remains on top of the leaderboard. Matthew Wood at his heels, 120 points back. Walker Thomas, Jared Wishing right there, and Andrew Plesha, that's your top 5. All the way down to the cut line, it's a tie. You've got Aaron Jackson, Ty Bostic and Calvin Allison both tied for 16. Aaron Jackson just 4 points out. Really, everything at the bottom there is just, up to 12 is separated by just 36 points. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on as we get down. We've only got 8 races left before we go into the chase. So just bringing up our schedule right now. We sit here at the Save Mart here. We're going to go to Chicagoland next. We've got Quaker State 200, Window World 2025. We're back at Indy here. So really, we got just a handful of races left before we hit the chase here. And these drivers are super hard to try and qualify and make this all happen. Well, that's pretty much the end of qualifying. Just 30 seconds left to finish up with qualifying. Let's see, we've covered the schedule. We've got the current standings again. We know where we're at with the track for today. I think all that's left is to get this grid going on here, and let's get this race underway. So again, thank you all for tuning in to the IWM broadcast here. If you haven't, if you've got a moment, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and get signed up and be part of the IWM broadcast family. We certainly would appreciate that. and help to join our family. So we certainly would appreciate it. All right, qualifying is coming to an end here. We will grid up over. Oh, there we go. We've got a grid. And they're gridding up a little bit farther back there. All right, this is a short grid. We'll make our way to get this underway. Let's help to start the grid. Jeff, you made it.
I did. Glad to be here. Sorry to be just a little bit late, folks. Looks like you had a great qualifying session, though.
We did. All right, let's bring up the grid right now. You able to see the grid, or should I just take it away?
No, I can see it. There we go. Matthew Wood on the pole. That qualifying run that we just watched with Kyle Smalley puts him in P2. Coming up in row 2, we've got Aiden Kirker in 3rd position, Keaton Tripp in 4th. Row 3 is Walker Thomas, and alongside him, Andrew, I'm going to butcher these names, Pelesci?
Andrew Pelesci.
Pelesci. Sorry, Andrew. Row 4, we've got Justin Lewis in that 7 car alongside the 88 of Calvin Allison. And on row 5, P9 is Roberto Ramirez alongside that 45 machine of Brad Peters.
Yeah, it's funny. I just realized that you've never called this. Yeah, well, you haven't called an IWM broadcast in a while.
No. Yeah, it's been over a year for sure.
All right, in row 6, you've got Jared Wishin, and 7. In P12, you've got Zach Lindgren. Row 7 brings us with Michael Anthony and Maxwell Caldwell. Row 8, we've got Pete Tart and Brian L. Jones. Row 9, you've got Jeremy Brown and Chuck Van Scoik. And in row 10, you have got Ty Bostic and Christoph Hall.
In row 11, we've got J.R. Houston in that 20 alongside Samuel Harrell in position 22. Row 12 as the cars roll off the grid. Row 12, we have Aaron Jackson and Bud Shearer. Row 13 is K.C. Heschel and Nathan Yarnell. And row 14, John Ledger and David Watts. 2 longtime racers in the IWM League.
That's right. All right, that's your grid for today's race. We're watching Matthew Wood as he leads this field. Again, just to recap this quickly, again, we'll just bring up that track map so you get a good feel for just what we're looking at here. Again, they're coming right now up to turn 11 down here at the bottom, then turn 12 up to the start-finish line, and we'll get this underway.
Yeah, that first part of the track, turns 1, 2, 3, and 4, that area there is probably my favorite spot on this track. You'll see it here as they go green. Just a lot of elevation changes, a lot of twists and turns. Takes some a good handling race car and some good decisions by the driver.
All right, green flag flies here as we are underway. Matthew Davidwood leads this field up into the hills as we see the many elevations here at Sonoma. Already he goes around. There's contact up at the front. Again, there are no cautions here, so unfortunately he's just going to have to pick up the field from the tail. That puts Keaton Tripp all in front. Walking back here, lots more action. The 51's involved. This is mayhem on the track for some of these drivers here. There's still... Sonoma is not being...
Molly, I think, that was trying to get back into the racing action, and it did not work out well.
No, Kyle Smalley now falls. Let's get some details here. Smalley now falls all the way back. Matthew Wood is in 23rd.
Yeah, Kyle Smalley's in 11th.
In 11th, there he is, yep. Looking back here at Matt Wood back here, sitting in 21st as he races to get back up to the front again. He was your pole sitter.
Yeah, it is. Those first few laps on a road course like this are the toughest because these guys have been running a lot of laps in practice, but they haven't been in such a concentration of so many race cars in one spot. So you got guys fighting for position, and one guy doesn't know that the next guy's coming up on him, has a run on him, and all of a sudden things get bad. Somebody else off the track there looks like is that the 95?
Jeremy Brown in the
94?
46 got spun.
Okay. Oh, there we go. I was reading the number upside down.
Back up front, Keaton Tripp, who started this race, I think in third or fourth, he's out in front leading. He's got Andrew Pileshi behind. Calvin Allison and Walker Thomas and Justin Lewis. That's your top five. The big movers so far.
They've spread out a bit.
Yeah, they sure have. Let's get that track back up. We can kind of see where everybody is.
You can see the leaders have jumped out there, and then we've got a gap to the rest of the pack, still running fairly tight. Oh, somebody off in the grass there.
You know, I was just about to talk at how great Sammy Harrell is doing. He's up 8 spots. And just as I did that, he decided to slip off the track and onto the grass.
Yeah. And fortunately didn't lose too much in the way of positions. I think he's still up 8 spots or seven or 8.
Yeah,
in there.
Yeah, he's lost 3 spots that he gave back 3.
Yeah. So good save on his part. Tough break going off the course, but great save to be able to keep that car moving and blend right back in.
So a lap around this track is just about a minute. Let's bring up that gap information. Just about a minute 15, minute 16 with these guys up at the front. So, you know, if and being a road course, it should go by relatively quickly. We'll see how it all plays out. So the stage is actually going to be at the end of lap 16. Let's make that adjustment here.
We have several guys that have made good progress. Ty Bostic is up 6 spots. Aaron Jackson's up 7. Samuel Harrell is up 7 right now. Casey Heschel is also up 7. And John Ledger is also up 7. So the magic number 7 seems to be good luck for some of these guys. John Ledger just changed it to 8. Casey Heschel's up 9 now. So some of these guys doing real well. Also, Pete Hart up towards the front, and he's in the 6th spot. He's up 9 positions as well.
Yeah, Pete Hart has got. He's right now the biggest gainer we've got. He's up +9 now.
Wow.
Up there. Yep, absolutely. Casey Heschel up there +9. John Ledger, Bostic, and Christoph Hall now enters the room. He's doing very well.
These leaders spread out a little bit now. Great passing zone right there that we're looking at. Nobody in position to really make a move. But when they do, that's going to be one of the prime spots to try to get around somebody.
All right, checking back in with Kyle Smalley. He now finds himself up to 9th. And Matthew Wood back up to 10th after falling all the way back to 21st.
Boy, that's a great recovery.
Yeah, he was super fast in practice, qualified well, just got spun around. Let's go back to the graphic as to just what happened on that start. Let's see if we can locate that.
Well, oh, there it is. Everybody gets through turn 1 pretty clean, but and they get up going up the hill. It gets a little congested here for turn 2.
Yeah, it's like they got.
Oh yeah.
It's like
The 51 came up off the bottom, got into the 21. You can see right there, the 51's on the curb, and then boom, all of a sudden he's 3 or 4 feet off, and wasn't anything the 21 could do there.
Nope. You
That
got
39 gets into the back then of the 51.
So here's the issue with the 51. They're 3 wide, and this is Sonoma.
Oh boy.
It's not Talladega.
No.
This is going into 7.
Hey, I don't know if he got tapped before he locked it up or what. We switched cameras right there.
Yes, a little bit of contact with, I think that's Brad Peters, who also goes around. Number of drivers involved.
Thankfully, they've got that nice wide runoff area there in the grass, and that gave a few guys. You see that one car down at the bottom of your screen that made it through.
Yeah, just as a point of record here, let's turn all this action on. Matthew David Wood just set the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 14:83. That is smoking fast. That's the best time right now, as he continues his charge back up. So he's broken back into the top 10. Of course, he's racing hard. The guy in front of him who he had contact with is the 51 of Kyle Smalley. We're keeping an eye. And I think that was just good sportsmanship. He just decided, okay, I'm going to let you go. Yep.
Yeah, that was a very nice move on his part.
Yep, he knew it. He saw it. He knew that it was a mistake, and he did his best to just make it happen.
Yep.
That's just another testament to this league and the drivers that participate in it. If you make a mistake, you own it, and it's just some of the I'd say professionalism, but they're all amateurs. But just some of the good sportsmen we have in the league. Well, back up front, Keaton Tripp continues to chip away. There's 8 laps complete of our scheduled 55, 9 left in the stage.
Andrew Palesci is not giving up, though. He is staying uptight, 0.8 of a second gap from first to second, probably about 8 or 10 car lengths, somewhere in that range. But that's the key at this point of the race, is just keep him in sight. Save your stuff, go easy on your car. You can see he's making up some ground in the braking zone there.
Yeah, we'll go. Let's ride on board with Andrew, and as he tries to run down the 63.
Yeah, speeds here are a lot less than they are on the big ovals, but the sense of speed is really high here, 120 mile an hour through those turns. That'll set you back in your seat and make you grip that steering wheel just a little bit harder.
One of the things I've noticed here is that the curbing is really, for these cars, super unsettling. It's very easy to get the entire right side or left side of that car up in the air just with this curbing.
Yeah, the suspensions on these cars are so much tighter than they are on a passenger car. You get into something like that shifts that balance of the car, and it wants to go up on 2 wheels coming through some of those curves. Great views there from that onboard camera.
Yep, they're making their way down. This is through 8 and 9 and 9A, headed towards 10, which is right there at that elbow right there. They're coming into 10. And now as they race down this straight section of the track into 11, which is this super tight turn as they head back through 12, which then leads us back to the start-finish line. And you
Great
can really
lap.
put the hammer down until here, so you begin to climb up that big elevation change into 2 here, which is that we talk about braking zones. It's gonna be hard on the brakes there. Then, as we get through 3, which is what you're in now, we head down towards 4.
Heavy braking right there to get through that corner.
And now here is 7 and 7A, really hard on the brakes here to get through here and then work their way back through to 8, 9, and 10 where we just were talking about.
Yeah, you're going from 120 mile an hour up a little further back on the course to that section where you get into turn 5. They were down to 45 miles an hour there. Huge change in the speed of the race car.
Couple drivers in the pits. That is the 25 of Roberto Ramirez. He's been in there for a while, as well as Zach Lindgren as well. No meatballs, no official damage on those drivers, but certainly they're in there what appears to be getting some repairs made.
Yeah, Zach Lindgren about 9 laps down. Roberto Ramirez is 6 laps down, both still in the pits, as you mentioned. David Watts is 1 lap down if we get a caution, which a lot of times on road courses we don't. David
we will for the if he stays there. He'll get it back at the stage break. But he is about, when you look at the timing, his last lap was about 10 seconds slower than the leader.
Wow.
Yeah, super hard. That means that you'll get lapped approximately every 7 or 8 laps. So just things to consider here as these drivers, for some drivers it's just okay to survive. There's this stretch where we've had last week at Coronado and then here at Sonoma. NASCAR's schedule, they put these 2 tracks right here, sandwiched in the middle here. Makes it super hard. If you're not a fan of road course racing, you're groaning as you hit this part of the schedule.
Yeah, if you are not a road course fan as a driver, this is a tough time right now. 2 road courses together, and I heard some talk on the radio this week from a driver saying, we've got how many? They have 4 road courses now. He thinks they need to have 2 more.
Yeah. So we've got
6.
We've got Coda at the beginning of the season. We wound up with Watkins Glen, the Coronado last week, and Sonoma.
Yeah. Great shot of showing you the entrance to pit road right there. And it's a long pit road. Those guys have to slow down to make that corner after they get on pit road. And then got a long straightaway right there that we just saw a quick glimpse of. There's a lot of time coming to pit road.
That's right. So after this, we head to Chicagoland. That's a standard 1.5 mile track. Then we've got the Echo Park Speedway. Will be at Atlanta. Another fun kind of a mini super speedway there. Then we head off some short track racing in Wilkesboro. And then off to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That brings us to the IWM All-Star Break.
Ooh, one of our front runners off the course there. Or unless they were lapping. Oh, they were lapping somebody there.
I think that was the J.R. Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, you see Pete Tarrant right behind JR Pete Tart is currently riding in 5th, and he's trying to get himself around the 20 right there, and he does.
Saw that 67 there make a move. Wasn't as tight as some of the passing in that corner, but a great place to get a run on a guy and brake later and harder than what they do and make that pass on that corner. Whoa, the 49 off track.
Okay, that's Casey Heschel just slid off the track there. So again, we talked about earlier, now Kyle Smalley is in the pits.
Free to go. He's
14
in the stage.
Yeah, he was back in. There's no opportunity, I think, for stage points, so he's taking another way around it.
Yeah, that'll be a good move for him. I think he'll only have 3 more laps on his tires than everybody else, but he's going to put himself back up towards the front after this stage break and after everyone else comes into pit.
And here at Sonoma, I mean, you're going to have a lot of opportunity here. Even though he's in and he was still on the lead lap, he comes out on the lead lap. Keaton Tripp now in the pits. So our fuel calculation must be off.
Yeah, that was a long pit stop for Kyle Smalley too. 24.5 seconds. Probably 8, 9, 10 seconds longer than what most of them will be. Here's the 63 car in. You see it on your screen there.
So that puts Andrew Pileshi out in front, and he is now your leader. Again, we're still trying to figure out the fuel situation here. Both you saw Keaton Tripp and Kyle Smalley both in. We'll see if that's a regular thing here. We know that the stage is at lap 16. That's just 2 laps away. But you're right, it may just be more about flipping the stage here.
Yeah. Yeah, those are both fast cars that just because they got bumped to the back there with some on-track skirmish. Good opportunity for those guys to get themselves back up front and try to stay there this time.
We're also watching Calvin Allison in the 88. He is trying to run down the 91 of Andrew Pileshi. Right on his bumper again, as we've just got 1 to go here. So those drivers who came in, that was Kyle Smalley and Keaton Tripp. So they pitted on lap 14. Our calculation said they should be able to go to lap 27. We'll have to figure out the math later.
Yeah, John Ledger and Casey Heschel right now battling for that lucky dog position back in 22nd, 23rd. Those guys are running pretty neck and neck. See how that turns out. My timing and scoring keeps bouncing around as far as guys who's a lap down and who's not. But it looks right now like Casey Heschel just got around John Ledger, and John Ledger turned around and passed him back. So those guys there's a real battle going back there for the lucky dog.
Well, that should be happening any moment here once the 10th car of Brian Jones crosses that start-finish line. He is coming into turn 10 right now. He'll get through 11.
And my calculations would give John Ledger the lucky dog. Let's see if that still holds true when that number 4 car crosses the line.
Yep, there's our stage caution flying when Brian Jones crossed that start-finish line for timing and scoring. Yeah, right now I think it's John Ledger who will get that lucky dog. course, John's right now coming into turn 10. As soon as we have the details of the, we have them. So our stage points, winner of that stage is Andrew Pileshi with Calvin Allison in second, Walker Thomas in third, Pete Tart in fourth with Matthew David Wood all the way back up to fifth. Jared Wishin is in sixth, Aiden Kirker in seventh, Justin Lewis in eighth, Michael Anthony in ninth, and Brian Jones in 10th.
There you have it. Stage 1 in the books. 18 laps, 17 laps complete. We're on lap 18 under the caution car right now. 55 laps total in this race. So that leads us to the question of what do they do in pit stops? What do you think? They can make it in one more stop?
Well, so
that'd be close, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So 18 laps complete. We assume just, I don't know how many. Our math says it's 27. So let's just say it's 25. They'll need at least one more stop to fill up and get fresh tires.
The interesting thing on that will be what kind of tires do people have left at 25 laps, and do some guys try to push it? If it's what would that be? We'd have probably 35 laps to go when we come back, so they could get 3/4 of the way through that run or more.
Yeah,
they'll have set of tires before they have to take fuel.
Yeah, they'll have one more stop. That'll be.
Yeah, but do they do that stop early or do they do it late? Do they split it equally? You see everybody lining up, or almost everybody lining up to come down pit road.
Yeah, number of drivers. Assuming the 63 of Keenan Tripp and the 51 of Smalley will stay out. Those drivers who are down a lap, they've got to come back and around. They can't go down at the same time. You see Kyle Smalley, he is actually staying out, as we expected.
That'll put those two guys. Keaton Tripp will take the green flag first, and Kyle Smalley will be alongside him for this restart. And then we'll see how it all shakes out as they come out. Looks like Andrew Pileshi is going to come out in the third spot, Walker Thomas in fourth, Calvin Allison in fifth, Pete Tart in sixth, Matthew Wood seventh, Jared Wishin in eighth, Maxwell Caldwell ninth, and Brad Peters in 10th. That's all unofficial. We'll see when they line up to take the green flag.
Yeah, number of drivers who are still in the pits: Kirker, Lewis, Van Skyke, Anthony Brown, Brian Jones, Ty Bostic, Sammy Harrell. My guess is they're spending some extended period of time in there to get some repairs made. A great opportunity to do that.
Oh yeah, you can sit there for quite a while and then get back out on the track. You don't have that caution car to slow you down because they're way ahead of you. You can run almost full speed and catch back up to the field before they put you a lap down.
Let's go ahead and grab Kyle Smalley, see if we can bring him into the booth. Hey Kyle, it's Rick and Jeff in the booth. How's it going?
Hey guys, how are y'all?
Good, how are you doing?
Well, could be better.
A little bit of a rough start. Tell us what happened there, Kyle.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never entered turn 2. I guess that's what turn 2 is. I've never entered it from that angle, and so just that, and I think I locked up the right front. All that combined just ran into Matthew, so apologies to him. Already apologized in the race, so he knows I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to obviously do that. But then after we got all straight, and then I think Brad hit me on accident as well, and then caused another accident. So it's just been a big cluster. So I've hit early, fixed some damage. I ran a time just to see what kind of time I could run, to see if I could even flip the stage if it'd be possible. And I ran similar times to what the leaders were running. So we'll see what happens. I do still have like a minute left of damage. So hopefully it gets us to the end, maybe get a top 5.
Well, hope that all works out for you. Congratulations on that. We'll see you hopefully at the end of the race.
All right, sounds good. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Too. I think if I remember right, I was logging on just as you were going through the standings. But isn't Kyle Smalley our points leader right at the moment?
He is actually. He is right there, and in second is Matthew David Wood. So those two are 1 and 2 in the standings. They were 1 and 2 on the grid, and obviously there was that little bit of that contact there, which really put them both in a tough spot. But Kyle Smalley now finds himself in second. Matthew Wood is up to 7th. So we hope it all works. We'll see how it all plays out.
Yep.
Well, the lights are off on the pace car as the field is forming back up. The number of drivers are now chasing. You can see from the track map, a lot of drivers are playing catch up here, which is not a problem here because pace is relatively slow here. We can take a peek inside the onboard of Keaton Tripp, 45 miles an hour on this 2-mile track versus you see the drivers who are trying to chase him down. Ty Bostic at over 100 miles an hour chasing down this group.
Trying to catch back up to the field there. Field just coming out of the S's right now, and that's another great part of this track. This whole track just well put together, well thought out, and a lot of fun to race on.
Yeah, it's so interesting, this track itself. There's so much that happens here at Sonoma. It's really in wine country. It's just 30 miles up north of San Francisco. It's storied. I mean, there are more. The track was originally configured for 2.5 miles. It was reconfigured again, but there's so many other series that run here. I mean, they've got IndyCar that runs here, MotoGP, sport car racing. It's just an amazing track.
It really is. Saw the pace car drop off there in the pit road, and here they come for the green.
All right, drivers are entering the Echo Park restart zone. Keaton Tripp gets underway. The green flag flies here. So Casey Herschel getting a black flag. Not sure what happened to Casey. Oh, already incidents happening.
Several cars off track back there, yeah.
Yep, out through the grass.
Was that? No, it wasn't. Paint scheme similar to Kyle Smalley, but it wasn't Kyle, I don't think. Oh, 46 facing the wrong direction there.
Yeah, the 96 has a meatball. The 94 rather, that's Maxwell Caldwell. Something happened to Max. He's got some definite damage on that car.
Looks like he's trying to get it back to the pits under power, but boy, he's going slow. I don't know if that could bring out the caution here. David Watts is hoping that does bring out the caution because he's first car that's not on the lead lap. Ooh.
Try to see what happened to Maxwell Caldwell. There's the contact. You can, well, you know what? You can go back and look at that real quick and watch what happens with that right rear tire here. You'll see this contact right here, right there. You see that tire?
Oh,
toe link and suspension is completely shattered.
Yeah. He can probably make it back. The question is, he did make it back. Good for him.
Yeah, he wound up in the pits. He's got that meatball. So they get that repaired before he can ever rejoin this field. Well,
tough break for that 94 Maxwell Caldwell.
That's correct. Oh, more incidents happening through the field. You see Sammy Harrell in the grass. Aiden Kirker is off track. And he's off track in what can be a relatively fast section of that track, so super hard to rejoin the field when you're off track like that, facing the wrong way.
Yeah, it's one thing to pull out in front of somebody. It's another thing to pull out in front of somebody that's doing 120. So you got to be really careful on that rejoin.
All right, 22 laps complete out of 55. That leaves us 34 laps to go here in this event. We're watching Matthew Wood here as he tries to claw back up. He was your pole and your leader for a while there until, well, a little incident on the first lap. Really jacked up his race.
Yeah, he's still holding the fastest lap of the race. It was early on. His pace right now is about 2 seconds off of that fast lap, just under 2 seconds. Running probably a second behind what the leaders are running. So going to have a tough time making up too many spots at that kind of a gap. But we'll see what happens here coming up with Matthew Wood.
Yeah, another graphic to look at here is this is our championship top 5. Let's put it in here. So right now, Kyle Smalley, who's out in front, he's leading the points. Currently sitting in second. Also talked about watching Matthew Wood. He is second in the points, sitting in 7th. You've got Walker Thomas. He's sitting in 3rd in the points and 3rd right now in the race. Jared Wishon is currently 4th in the points. He's in P6. And Andrew Pileshi, he's 5th, but he's now back in 18th after that caution.
Yeah, some guys making up a good bit of ground here. Aaron Jackson up 14 spots. I think he is our driver at the top of that. You see there, Aaron with 14 spots, Pete Tart with 12 spots gained, Bud Shearer with 10, Chuck Van Schaik 8 spots he's gained, and Samuel Harrell, we've talked about a little bit, 7 spots gained. So biggest movers there doing a great job at moving their way further towards the front.
Yep. Chuck Van Schaik just broke into the top 10. He's, as Jeff indicated, he's up 8 spots. Comes out of turn 10, headed towards 11.
This is a real treat for me to be able to broadcast this race. When I first joined iRacing back in 2020, a lot of the guys that put this league together, you were one of them, Rick. We raced together in another league, and then some of us split off, and you guys started this league. And so gotten to race with and know a lot of the guys that are running here today, a lot of new guys that I don't know yet. But the quality of this league just keeps going up and up. And so it's exciting for me to get a chance to broadcast this one with you tonight.
Well, I certainly appreciate you making the time. And you know, we've seen this league, you know, as you look through the top 3 races right now, Keith Tripp, Kyle Smalley, Pete Tart, those guys have I ratings over 5,000.
Wow.
Crazy.
There's a lot over 5,000. Let's see. I see.
We had a driver last week at Coronado, Jeff, who had an I rating over 10,000. He was a substitute driver.
My God.
Yeah. He did
there
some Coke Series racing.
5 more into the 3 you mentioned that are over 5,000, which for folks at home that don't know what that I rating is all about, let's just say they are very, very good drivers. Don't have a lot of crashes, finish high in the points. And that's in official races. That doesn't need. This is not what iRacing calls an official race. This is a league race. Those guys have to run a lot of official races, which are races iRacing designates, and that's where you earn your iRacing points. And so for those guys to be up over 5,000, that's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, big number. We were just talking about Brian Jones earlier in the 4. You know, Brian's has an I rating of 58.83 and a safety rating of 4.99, which is the highest you can get. So,
yeah.
All right, number of drivers are in the pits. Sammy Harrell finds himself now in the pits. J.R. Houston's there. We see he's getting repairs made.
You were talking just a second ago there about that 4.99 rating, and there's another driver here that has a 4.99 rating as well. Bud Shear, I think, is our only driver from Canada. Good to have one of our Canadian friends running with us. Bud's I rating is not as high as some of the other guys, but still a respectable 1856. But to have it's very, very difficult to get a 4.99 safety rating.
Zach Lindgren in the 85 also has that. He went out early in this event, but he's also a 4.99. So some really amazing members of this league. Here 28 drivers. We'll see more once we go back to ovals, but just some great racing.
3 guys in the pits right now. Sammy Harrell is in the pits. J.R. Houston's just coming out of the pits right now, and Max Caldwell extended time in the pits. A couple off tracks. We have a little red light on our scoreboard here that pops up when a driver goes off track, and those are like strobes tonight. They're flashing off and on and off and on, and somebody different every time, it seems like. So it's a tough course to get around because it's so narrow, and then when you get somebody trying to go through the corner with you, it makes it that much harder. Very, very difficult track, very technical track, but a very fun track all at the same time.
You're watching these 3 drivers, Kyle Smalley, Pete Tart, and Walker Thomas. That's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right there. They're all bunched up. You see that Caton Tripp has got about a 3.5 second lead over these guys, but these guys are all bunched up, and they've got about a 6 second gap between themselves and the 5th place of Matthew Wood.
Yeah, great fight here for 2nd spot. You see that what is that, 67 of Tart trying to get around Smalley there. You saw when he went into the hairpin trying to look inside, but Kyle Smalley did not give him enough room to get his nose in there, and that's good defensive driving.
Yeah, solid showing by the 51 here as he works his way up. Now he's right now working through the chute of 4A, and really it's called the chute, but that's really because of the turns that they don't use. But this track for these drivers, they go from 4 to 4A, and then it jumps over to turn 7. They kind of cut the backside. There's a whole other chute and the carousel that comes back down the hill that NASCAR does not utilize in this track. Let's see if we can bring that up so you can just talk about. So you can see where it says 4 and then 4A, and then you see turns 5, 6, and 6A. That's the carousel that comes back down the hill. NASCAR does not use that. They just go from 4 and 4A. We cut across and go to 7 and 7A.
That's nice for the drivers from the standpoint of it shortens that lap time.
Yeah, and it's less opportunity to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Well, because frankly, if you look at that map again, here, bring that back up. Look at that back again. that would that big turn at 7 and 7A, that almost like a switchback. Same with similar to 11 at the other end.
Yep.
Big opportunity, and then 4 would be a challenging turn. So they've got their hands full with enough challenges here with what they've been given here. So the group is not. As we were sat there talking, Pete Tart made his way around Walker, and as did Walker Thomas. They made their way around Kyle Smalley. Let's see if we can figure out exactly what happened there. We were just kind of chatty all about these things and just missed that. Yep, Kyle Smalley got in a little bit of an incident. Let's try to figure out what happened to the 51 here. Goes off track.
Comes down into this hairpin, turn 11. We
It's
talked
hard.
about this being a good passing zone. Look at the 67.
Oh, there's contact.
Oh, yeah. He brakes late and doesn't really get slowed down enough. It makes his car push and pushed him right into the 51 of Kyle Smalley and moved him out of the way. I don't think that was intent. Look at his brake rotors. I mean, you can tell he is braking extremely hard there, and just ended up, if you're going too fast on that corner, your car's going to push towards the outside.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
It's very similar to what happened between Kyle Smalley and Matthew Wood, who now finds himself right behind the 51.
Yeah. So another great shot there of that left front brake rotor of Kyle Smalley, showing just how hot these brakes get going into the hard, heavy braking corners. And sometimes you get to the end of the race and you'll see these drivers experience what they call brake fade, where the brakes have just cooked. They've been so hot for so long, and so many times, so many cycles, that all of a sudden that brake loses a lot of its braking power.
So my calculation says these drivers are going to have to go back into the pits if we follow what we think for fuel, which is 27 laps. So they came in at lap 18. My math, that's Rick's math, says it's about lap 45 where they will need to come back in for one more stop. Now, what that looks like for... Let's go to Matthew Wood, who came in. Let's see where his telemetry shows. So he's got about half a tank of fuel left. He's kicking it around. But Philip Keaton Tripp, who came in early, he came in at 14. He's got slightly less fuel. But again, part of this will also be how the driver manages to control his car, how he shifts, what gear he's in. All of that will absolutely take a chunk out of his fuel tank.
Yeah, there's a lot of tricks that these guys can use to save fuel on a road course. And some of them are better at it than others, some of them not so proficient. But it leaves so much variable to those of us that are trying to call the race, because we don't know what they're doing. We can't see their telemetry to see how early they're lifting. Are they short shifting? Are they, sticking in the clutch and letting it coast through a corner? Are they heavy braking? What are they doing? So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out here with 23 laps to go.
Keeping an eye on Pete Tart. So now Kyle Smalley is in the pits. 22 laps to go. He's knocking out his pit strategy, I think, early here.
Yeah, I think Kyle's in the position where, he's back in back far enough in the pack that he's got to do something different if he wants to get to the front. If he's even running the same lap time as the leader, he's not gaining on the leader at all. So let's do something that's different than what the leader does and see if we can make that work to our advantage and pick up a few spots that way.
His stop is complete. Super good pit stop.
Yeah, 14.58. That's very good. Very good stop.
He comes out in 16th position here. We hop back up to Keaton Tripp, who now has about a 4.5 second gap over second place Pete Tart.
Matthew Wood climbed all the way up to third spot now, and his lap speeds have come up. He's running half second faster than Keaton Tripp in first place on that last lap anyway, and about a half second faster than Pete Tart in second. So making up good ground now. He still has a way to go, but he can find himself getting close to that second spot by the time we get to pit stops.
Yeah, we interviewed Matthew last week after Coronado, and he's not a fan of this track.
Really?
Yeah. Can't tell from his driving, but
no.
this is not his favorite track.
Yeah. It's a tough track in the fact that sometimes you don't have control of your destiny. We've seen, a little slip there going in on the entry. A lot of times you don't have control of your own destiny because you're at the mercy of that guy on the inside of you. You know, he gets too late to braking or too much of a push, and all of a sudden he's into you, pushing you off track, and I mean, one incident like that can ruin your day, give you a bad taste in your mouth for Sonoma.
Bringing up the, Matthew came in second in last week's race at Coronado. He finished behind Logan Clampett, who was the driver we were just talking about, who has that 10,000 I rating, former Coke Series driver in the I racing. So lots of big experience, and he finished a solid second place to Logan Clampett. So, here he is here now. Matthew Wood. Right now, he leads this race and gets back up to the pole.
Great comeback story there. Did a great job catching back up and taking over his spot that he started the race in.
Do you know that Keaton Tripp did the same thing? He came in for his pit stop here, lap 35. We're keeping an eye on those drivers who pitted on lap 18. Here's Justin Lewis. He's coming in for his pit stop.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Keaton Tripp's first full lap time is once he's back up to speed, because you can see Matthew Wood's fallen off about 1.5 to 2 seconds since we were talking about him earlier. Walker Thomas in second, running about that same speed, 117.5. So these guys that are out there, that it's been since lap 18 that they stopped, so almost 20 laps ago, they're off 2 to 3 seconds off of their fast times. So they're going to have to come in and pit soon, or they're going to lose any advantage that they have. So much on the minds of these drivers. Most of these guys operate as their own crew chief. They have an electronic spotter. It's not like in the Sunday racing in the NASCAR Cup Series, where they've got a crew chief, they've got a spotter, they've got engineers, they've got car chiefs, they've got everybody helping them. These drivers are doing most of it on their own. They're calculating their own fuel mileage with a little help from the computer, but they've got to make all those decisions all the time while they're running 120, 130 miles an hour around these corners.
Solid racing so far. Matthew Wood getting himself back up to the point. Number of drivers are now hitting the pitch. We're beginning to see more. We see Brian Jones and Christoph Hall on pit road. The 21 making it past the 25 of Roberto Ramirez there.
Yeah, Roberto's several laps down, 11 laps down it looks like. So did a very nice sportsmanlike thing, got out of the way, let the leaders through. No sense fighting with them. You're not going to help yourself at all, and all you could do is hurt them. So good job by Roberto.
We just noticed that the right now Andrew Pileshi is right there. Andrew's actually a lap down. He's got some nose damage. Oh, and goes through the, oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah, winds up getting into the doors of the 98 there of Christoph Hall.
I couldn't see what caused him to lose that much, but tough break there.
New fastest lap. Keaton Tripp just put up a 1 minute 14:70, which just bested Matthew Woods by about a tenth.
Yep.
As he's racing to catch back up, he's currently sitting about 20 seconds back behind Matthew David Wood, but Matthew David Wood has got to stop. He's got to come in one more time, as pretty much the whole top five has yet to pit.
And as you look at their times, Keaton Tripp's fast time there was almost about 2.5 seconds faster than Matthew Wood's last lap. So Matthew Wood losing ground right now. That's why we were saying earlier he has got to come in and pit sometime soon. Man, when you're out there in the lead, though, that's the hardest thing to do, is voluntarily give up the lead to come in for a pit stop. A driver wants to just stay out there and keep leading laps.
Oh, he's got his lap back. He's got to come in, though. He definitely needs to come back in at some point for fuel. You can't just stay out there the whole time with 16 laps to go.
Yeah, I can't see anybody being able to save enough fuel to not pit again. So a lot of times they plan the stage breaks so that they have to make another pit stop somewhere in that second section of the race. Faked me out. I thought he was coming in there for a minute.
They're really impressed just with what we see with Matthew. We go on board with the 21 here.
Yeah, still running, respectable lap times. That last lap was a 1:17. Still pretty good. Not what, he's 2.5 seconds off.
He's saving fuel.
Oh, man. Is he?
Yeah, look, he's coasting.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Here you got somebody off track in front of them there, gets around them.
I think that was Calvin Allison. I could be wrong. But I don't know. I'm not sure. He can get 15. Of course, on this track, our fuel calculations, toss them out the window. We're just not we're not getting the good number here.
You could tell though on that one in-car camera, yeah, he was having trouble hanging on to that car. It was a little squirrely. So which tells me that his tires are starting to go away, and you understand why. Last pitting on lap 18, so he's got 20 some laps on his tires. That's on a road course, that's pretty tough. But yet his last lap time just barely broke into the 116s. He had a 116.997, but still it was faster than several laps before that, even with car slipping around on him and him coasting as much as he could to save fuel.
This is Michael Anthony, keeping an eye on Michael Anthony here. Currently running in 19th position. Oh, and got a black flag.
Yeah, these guys staying out is making it difficult for Keaton Tripp to make any headway in his climb back up through there.
Oh, he's 19 seconds. I was really thinking that Matthew Wood was going to come in that time, but he's trying to figure out a way to stay out. I don't know if he's got 13 laps left of fuel, but
yeah, that last lap was faster than the one before it. So he's 67 goes around there in the hairpin. Gets it going again.
Now he's nearly 30 seconds back and currently sitting in 7th. But now the 17 of Jared Wishin has closed the gap on the 21, as has Calvin Allison and Brad Peters. Now again, all those drivers have yet to pit.
Yeah, the first 5 drivers are all in need, we think, of a pit stop. They last pitted on lap 18. Keaton Tripp is the first of the drivers in 6th position now. First of the drivers that pitted back in lap 35. So he's got an advantage over most of these guys, but I wonder how many of them are trying to save fuel, like we see Matthew Wood doing, and are gonna make it. Wow, that's an interesting corner for Matthew Wood in that 21. Just doing everything he can to stay out front, to save fuel, to save on his tires. He lost a bunch of time on that last lap, so it's getting tougher for him. But 12 laps to go. I mean, if anybody can do it, I would say Matthew Wood has a good shot.
Still shows he has some fuel in that tank, but don't know.
Yeah, Keaton Tripp has narrowed the gap between he and Matthew Wood to 23 seconds. Just a few laps ago, it was 25. So he is making up ground, but if he's making up a second a lap, there's not near enough time. He's got to make, if Matthew Wood can go the whole way at this pace, Keaton Tripp won't be able to make it up.
Yeah, but I cannot imagine that that Wood can continue without taking fuel at some point.
Yeah, and even if you just come in for a splash and go, that pit lane is so long that unless there's a full course caution, maybe that's what he's banking on or hoping for.
Yeah, he won't get it here. It just will not happen here in iRacing. And going in and getting out, that's a 52-second penalty. Not a penalty, but it just takes about 52 seconds to come down onto pit road and get off with a 4-tire change in fuel.
Yeah, and when you're running a road course, a lot of times on an oval, they can take 2 tires and save time on a pit stop. But on a road course, you're turning left and right. And 2 tires is not going to give you any advantage at all. It's going to probably make things worse as far as handling goes.
Back on board with the 21, see if we see anything there.
Coasts through that corner, but that's pretty normal. You can see he's short shifting though. He's not getting the tack up to the red line at all. Coasting up through this area.
Let's bring up
I love those
our weather
cameras.
information. See if it's track has cooled off a little bit. It's now 99 versus what we see at the beginning, 120. So it definitely has cooled off a little bit. Air temp 81. So
that will help in the tire department.
Yeah.
Cooler tires will run longer, not wear as heavy as what they might.
So 13 cars remain on the lead lap here. Chuck Van Scoik is sitting in 12th with Justin Lewis in 13th. There, the 7 car of Lewis is the last car on the lead lap. And the 21 is about to potentially pick him off. That's the next car on this track here in front of the 21.
Yeah, and at this point, we saw Jared Wishon trying to make a run on Matthew Wood, but at this point, he's actually lost a little bit of ground. He's about 5.5 seconds back. Keaton Tripp still 22 seconds back, so he's making ground, but so slightly that with 9 to go, man, this is coming down to the wire for Matthew Wood.
Yeah, but he's going to have to pit, and we don't know. If you assume it's 50 seconds, he's going to come out basically 25 seconds to the bad when we talk about Keaton Tripp.
Yeah, that's going to put him toward, if that happens, that'll put him towards the back, probably around 10th position, somewhere in that range.
You would think that if he's got great speed, if he wants to get his time back, he needs to come in early, give himself some more time on fresh tires.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But
unless he thinks he can make it around and take these 8 and finish these 8 laps without coming in. Our telemetry says, you can see it there, his fuel pressure is telling him, no, you got to come in. But, what do we know?
Yeah.
He may have been saving fuel this whole time and be able to extend that, well beyond our telemetry.
Yeah. Yeah, our metering of his fuel is not an exact science. He probably has a little bit better handle in the car than we can see, but still, tight is tight. He's got to play this one just right to make this strategy work.
All right, 8 laps to go. As you see the 21 of Matthew David Wood make it past the start-finish line. Now 7 laps to go. He makes the climb.
Still running low, 117 laps, so he has not dropped his speed much at all. It's just amazing to me that, all 5 of these guys are still running. They've all got to be trying to save, and they may. Keaton Tripp just moved up a spot, got around Walker Thomas. He is up in the 5th position now. And actually his last lap time was slower than Matthew Wood's, so go figure. Matthew Wood's saving fuel. We saw a couple times where he was coasting there, trying to save fuel, and still running quick laps. So, boy, if he can do this, more power to him.
Let's pop on
Gutsy
board
move.
with Calvin Allison. See if we see Calvin saving fuel. That's the 17 of Jared Wishin, who was running in second, who is now on pit road.
Yeah, his fuel light was flashing at him, and he said, "I can't take it anymore."
Yeah, I don't think the 88 is saving any fuel. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, he seems to lift maybe just a hair early, but yeah, no big coasting maneuvers or anything.
So Jared Wishin was in second. He is now making his way out. Let's see where he comes out in this field. He's off the pit. So he came out in 8th.
Yep.
With 6 laps to go.
Yeah, he just took fuel only. 6 seconds, 6.5 second pit stop. So feels fairly confident in his tires. Matthew Wood get through the hairpin there, turn 11.
A little bit of contact with the safer barrier there. Now you've got Brad Peters, who is currently in 3rd. He's on pit road.
That'll move Keaton Tripp up a spot, but still 22 seconds behind the leader. He's just got to keep running his laps and hope that these guys either run out of gas or play chicken and make a pit stop.
So those two guys in front of him, that's Chuck Van Scoik and Justin Lewis there. They're both at the tail end of the lead lap, trying to avoid going a lap down here.
Yeah, they don't have any obligation to let him get by easily, and it doesn't look like they're going to. But could be a good chance, with a 20-second lead over Keaton Tripp. Might be a good chance for him to save a little fuel, give up a little time. Here we go.
Yeah, good move by the 21 to the inside. Yep. Yeah, and he's also teammates with that 23 car of Chuck Van Scoik, so he's a GOAT racing driver.
So that Van Scoik is probably not going to race him super hard. Let him get but
Justin Lewis is
either.
No, the seven of Justin Lewis was like really aggressively trying to keep on the lead lap, but that didn't work out. He's got a 21 was obviously a little bit faster, but he gets by, and now with just 4 laps to go, we're gonna have to ask Matthew if he pulls this off, just what kind of special sauce he's got in there. He must have, he's obviously been saving fuel the whole time.
Yeah, I think this was probably his plan all along, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Well, if you're a soccer fan, the U.S. did defeat Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Right.
Yeah.
Some great stories about the fans coming out through this tournament.
Oh, absolutely. I was just talking about that yesterday. We were actually in Boston when Scotland was playing at Foxborough, and Boston was just awash with Scottish fans in their kilts.
Oh boy, that would be fun.
Yep, it was a lot of fun. The beer halls, I'll tell you that.
Yep. 3 laps to go here. Matthew Wood still holding on. Lap times have dropped a little bit on that last lap, but he had some help slowing down there. Keaton Tripp trying to chase him down, has gained about 3 seconds on him, but that's nothing compared to only 3 laps to go. Keaton Tripp his fortune rests in Matthew Wood's gas tank right now. And that's
Absolutely.
probably about the only thing in Matthew Wood's gas tank.
Yeah, I cannot believe we're still here with 3 laps to go. He's continuing to make it around. He may, I don't know. We'll see if he's got enough gas in there to make it back after he crosses that start-finish line. He may not.
Now, we haven't talked about Calvin Allison in the 88, but he's running the same strategy that Matthew Wood is. He's running in second position.
Yep.
And his lap times are almost exactly identical to Matthew Wood in front of him. So Keaton Tripp has 2 guys in front of him that are running this strategy, trying to stretch their fuel to the end. And won't be long. Will be 1 lap to go, and see what happens here.
The 21 has caught the 22 of Ty Bostic. Gets around the 22, who was the last car on the lead lap.
He went very wide to let them by. Nice move, showing some respect to the leaders there.
The next car he will set his eyes on as these laps continue to tick away is the 46 of Jeremy Brown. That's the next car that the 21 will face. It's just about a few thousand feet or so ahead.
Coming up on them pretty quickly too. We ought to be seeing him come into the picture sometime here shortly. Here comes Matthew Wood to catch the white flag.
White flag flies here at Sonoma in the Toyota Save Mart 175 in the IWM broadcast of the IWM Cup Series. Matthew Wood has done a remarkable job in saving fuel, overcoming adversity in this race. A little bit of early contact with the 51 of Kyle Smalley, who now finds himself in 5th. But those guys were 1 and 2 on the front row, and they got collected on the first lap and through the just fighting back and doing some amazing job saving fuel. Matthew Wood is halfway to the finish line here on this final lap.
Yeah, great job by Kyle Smalley to come back, and looks like he'll finish up with a 5th position here. Very, very good job to recover from some of the things he went through early in the race. But yeah, it's all about Matthew Wood, Calvin Allison, and Keaton Tripp right now, fighting over the. Oh, somebody locks it up there.
That was the 7 of Justin Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah. Little move there by the 21 got a little goofy as he comes across the line and wins the race. Holy cow, I can't believe it.
Matthew David Wood wins here at Sonoma in a race he said he wasn't really looking forward to, but he may not have no fuel. He may not have any fuel left in that car. I'm not sure. Let's get another shot of
one hill climbing. There he goes. All the way up to the top, spins it around. There's not enough gas left in that car to catch the grass on fire.
Probably not, yeah. It's still running. It's still running. We can
crazy,
see it.
Isn't it? Just crazy that he was able to do that. And again, we can't leave Calvin Allison out of that conversation. Great job by both of those guys on saving fuel and keeping Keaton Tripp in their rearview mirror. That's a tough pill to swallow for Keaton Tripp because he did everything right. But
absolutely,
these guys played it well. Great job by Matthew Wood and Calvin Allison and Keaton Tripp.
Yeah, he may need a push from that 17. Let's go on board. Is he out of gas? He's not out.
He's still running, isn't he? Yeah, the well, unless he let the clutch out. But the RPMs are still showing up on his tachometer there.
Yeah, he is definitely, though, going to need a push to get around. All right, as you can tell, this race is actually still continuing, but well, actually, we do have some results. It may be a while before he ever makes it back to do a burnout, if he even has fuel. Here he comes. He's actually making it back to the start-finish line here.
Jared Wishing backed off him, let him finish the race under his own power, hopefully. Oh, he looks like he's going for a burnout, doesn't he? Yeah. No,
he's in the drag strip.
Yeah.
Okay, these guys are having way too much fun.
That's right. Oh, he's gonna do a burnout here and run the drag strip.
All the things you can do here at Sonoma. All right, with that, let's go ahead and get the results from today's Toyota Save Mart event.
And there you see it, like we called it. Matthew Wood finishes as the winner here at the Toyota Save Mart 175. Calvin Allison in second, Keaton Tripp in third. We talked a lot about them. Here are some guys that also did a good job. Pete Hart in fourth, Kyle Smalley in fifth, Jared Wishon in sixth, Aiden Kirker in seventh, Walker Thomas in eighth, Jeremy Brown in ninth, and Justin Lewis in 10th.
Christoph Hall finishes in 11th with Andrew Pileshi in 12th. Brian Jones in 13th with Brad Peters in 14th. Ty Bostic in 15th. Chuck Van Scoik in 16th. Bud Shearer in 17th. Aaron Jackson in 18th. Michael Anthony in 19th. And Casey Herschel in 20th.
Great racing tonight here with John Ledger in 21st, Nathan Yarnell 22nd, Roberto Ramirez in 23rd, J.R. Houston 24th, Samuel Harrell in 25th, Max Caldwell in 26th, David Watson 27th, and Zach Lindgren in 28th. Great job tonight, guys.
So at that, the Hard Charger Award does go to Pete Tart, who came up 11 positions from his starting and qualifying position. Keaton Tripp did his best to pull this off. He led the most laps at 30. He had the fastest lap at a 1:14.699. But your pole sitter, Matthew Wood, wins the race. Now let's go ahead and grab, I think we've got Keaton Tripp. Let's go ahead and see if we can find Keaton Tripp here. All right, Keaton, congratulations on your finish here at Sonoma. Heck of a race. We thought you had it there for a while, but somehow, some way, Wood saved a lot of fuel.
Yeah. I don't know how the hell they did that.
We're as confused as you are.
Yeah.
My tank would say I could do 32 laps on a run. So I short pitted the stage to make sure no one would jump me coming into the next stage. So I had the lead still. And I basically just tried to push it as hard as I could for that 15 laps or 20 or so, and pitted. And my thought was, I thought even if they were saving, I would catch them with 20 laps to go. And they just somehow saved without losing a bunch of time. So props to them. They know what they were doing. So
Keaton, it felt like tonight, like you made all the right decisions. I mean, on paper, you should have won that race, but sometimes it's got to be a tough pill to swallow to make good decisions, have a fast car, do a good job, and yet still, I mean, third place is nothing to sneeze at, but that's it's got to bite a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, I thought I had that race pretty much fully controlled. I had a little incident on the last run there after my last pit stop, going into the S's. Car on older tires was slower than me, and I misjudged my momentum and hit the rear end of him and spun me out and gave me some rear end damage, and it really affected my downforce, and I was almost wrecking going into each corner and stuff. But we still got third out of it, so that's good.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your finish. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, shout out Nathan Carroll for putting me in the car again this week. I believe this is the last race I'm doing with him for him, unless that changes. But yeah, he hit me up for these road courses because he knew I liked them and I can do a pretty decent job at them. So thank him for putting me in the car, and thank mom and dad. I think they're watching at home. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
All right. Well, congratulations on your third place finish. Solid effort today. With that, let's go ahead and bring in Calvin Allison here into the broadcast booth. Let's grab Calvin. Calvin, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Man, you know, you were consistent all day, only as low as P8, high as P2, and somehow you and Matthew Wood have this magic fuel tank.
Yeah, we're pretty good at saving fuel. I mean, it makes the race boring since you gotta just watch that magic number on your screen. But other than that, it's pretty fun. I like Sonoma pretty well, and everybody races pretty clean except for that first couple of corners at the start of the race.
Yeah, we that was certainly a bit of a brouhaha, but it all worked out. You certainly you started back in eighth up there P2, and that's where you finished. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's nice to get a top five at least. It's a struggle bus this season so far, but hopefully I can turn it around these last few races.
Well,
So
again,
it was a great run tonight, Calvin. That we were talking about Matthew Wood and Keaton Tripp a lot, and all of a sudden we realized that, hey, Calvin Allison's right there in the middle of it, just quietly doing his business and keeping up with everybody. And we were amazed that you and Matthew Wood both were able to do such a great job saving fuel tonight.
Yeah, it's just you had to be patient on the throttle, shifting gears and all that. I mean, everything matters when you're trying to save fuel.
well, just for your information, this success today you've gained 3 positions. You're up to 13th.
I'll take it. Lucky number 13.
There you go. All right, any shout outs tonight, Calvin?
Yeah, thank y'all for the broadcast and everybody that helps out in the league, and thanks to my teammates, Misfit Mafia and my painter Bolts Ramirez. He had a tough break in the first turn and got wrecked, so he didn't have a good night. But maybe we can all rebound for Chicagoland next Wednesday.
Sounds great. All right, congratulations. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you.
You got it. That's Calvin Allison finishing second here. And with that, we'll bring your leader, your winner, your pole sitter into the booth. The man with the magic fuel tank for sure. That's Matthew David Wood.
Hello, everybody.
So, I'm going to throw it right back to last Wednesday at Coronado. And you said, it's in the recording, we'll go back and watch it, that you hated this track. And this was not your favorite track.
It is on recording, yes, but I think what a lot had to do with it is that I have ran probably over 200 laps at this place, not practicing for this specifically, but I have to, I run McConey's full-length challenge in the next-gen car, and it's stout competition, like Coke Series drivers Sean Coughlin, Dylan Basin, I think Falkingham has showed up to one of them. So a lot of people expect a lot from me, and I did all right. I finished, I was in the top 3 until a little incident sent me back to 5th, but I practiced a lot, and I've gotten I still don't like it. I'm not going to say I like it, and I don't like this car either. I may be fast, but I don't like the car either. But I've gotten better, and I figured out a little clutch thing that I could do that would help me save fuel and keep the times at least somewhat decent. So I still stand by it as my worst road course, maybe other than Coda. But
Well, Matthew, you bring it up, so I've got to ask you, what is your biggest trick to saving fuel at this track? Because you put on a master class on fuel saving tonight.
one of the main things was keeping it to where I wasn't losing so much time, so I could. It's like in GT racing, LICO is lift and coast. It's abbreviated for lift and coast. So when you lift really early, especially when you're putting on the clutch, you can brake a lot later, which is some kind of not a lot of people understand it. I don't think because it's hard to master it, but I've been practicing it a lot. But if you lift really early, you can brake later and utilize that more. And I found that clutching and all the way up through one up the hills would slow me down, and then I could accelerate by utilizing the downhills and just staying in a higher gear. So occasionally it would say I was good on fuel, and then it'd kind of be on the edge. So when I started to push a little bit, when Jared was behind me, I was just short shifting and coasting, not clutching it and shutting it off. But yeah, overall it worked out very, very nicely. So I'm happy with it.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. You rebounded well from that first lap debacle there, where you and Kyle got together, found your rhythm again, and held on to pull it off. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And got to thank Outlier Speed Co. Our setups are getting better and better. I've been running a lot with them, of course, helping them with whatever I need, Full Throttle Motorsports, as well as goat racing and fish speed. All those guys have helped me so unbelievably much. Everybody did a great job on the racetrack. Congratulations to the guys that were on the podium. And to be honest, whoever survived that first lap, congratulations. I thought I turned in on Kyle, and I thought it was partially on me, but I look back at it, he just overcooked it. I tell you what, he had a horrible race. He finished well, which is good, but I mean, contact-wise, I mean, pinballing back and forth. So unfortunate, but he'll rebound. He'll go out and fight for the win next week. So
Yep.
thank the Lord for the opportunity. Thank him for sending Jesus Christ for us, and thank you guys for what you do and anybody who supports the broadcast.
Okay. All right. Again,
love it.
congratulations. Thank you again, Matthew, for that. We'll see you next week in Chicago.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff. Heck of a race today here at Sonoma.
Man, I'll tell you what, this is I think 2 road courses in a row I've had a chance to broadcast with you, and I'm wishing we did a lot more road courses.
I don't think
They
these
are
drivers, I don't think the
No,
drivers are
prob-
appreciating as much there. But
Probably not, but I'll tell you what, I was in awe tonight of Matthew Wood's fuel saving ability, and that's why I had to ask him that question, and that style is somewhat ingenious. I've never thought of that. Lifting early, pushing in the clutch, because then you're not losing speed like if you just lift early. So you're still keeping your speed up, but you can still then let the clutch out, brake a little later, and I mean you're trying to save ounces every lap. You're not trying to save gallons. So little moves like that go a long way, and he just did a great job at it tonight. I thought the whole field, again, other than that first lap, the whole field did a great job. It was a very fun, exciting race.
absolutely. All right. Well, that wraps up tonight here at Sonoma in the IWM Cup Series. Your winner, Matthew Wood, brings it home. Next week, the IWM Cup Series will head to Chicagoland. But if you want to see Chicagoland, tune in tomorrow. We will be at Chicagoland for the Aero 200 with the INRS Racing Series. So if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, tune in for tomorrow, and we'll catch you on the end. But I thank you for those of you who tune in live or watch again on recording, and we hope to see you next week. Jeff, any closing comments?
No, just thanks for giving me the chance to work in this league for a change. We work together in the INRS series all the time, but first time I've been able to broadcast in the IWM Cup Series for quite a while, and thoroughly enjoyed myself tonight. So thank you, Rick.
That's great. Appreciate that. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. Have a great night, and we'll see you later. Good night.